Dear Japanese readers, my name is Rutger Bregman and I'm the author of the new book Humankind that has only recently been published in Japanese. And here I am sitting in Tokyo. I'm super excited to be here. And some people have been asking me this week, what are the implications of your work for Japanese society? Are there any things maybe we should change? Now, as an outsider, I obviously don't want to lecture anyone. But there are some things that have come to mind. I'm personally from the Netherlands, and the Netherlands has the shortest working week in the world. But Japan seems to be having the longest working week in the world. And I think one of the things perhaps to consider is maybe there should be a law in Japan that you have to leave the office after 5, right? There's just so many people working so hard, but there is more to life than work, right? One of the things that also struck me while I was just, going around here in Tokyo is that there are so many jobs that don't seem to be entirely necessary. There's this concept in science now developed by an anthropologist called David Graeber, and he's coined a really interesting scientific concept. He called it bullshit jobs. Don't want to insult anyone, but a bullshit job is a job where the person, him or herself thinks, I don't really contribute anything of value to society. I could just go on strike and no one would really care. And to be honest, I've never seen so many jobs like that as in Japan. If you would just get rid of those jobs, you could easily work like 40, 50% less. I mean, Japan and the Netherlands are about as rich, but we work way less. So that is something you could do, but what is essentially necessary there is that you move towards a different view of what humans are really like. Today, the traditional Japanese company is very hierarchical, right? So the boss at the top, often an elderly man, decides everything, right? And he decides, that the employees have to be in the office all day, right? And I think that is a little bit old-fashioned and outdated maybe. And that it would be wise for Japan to move gradually towards a much more egalitarian workplace, where workers are free to decide for themselves how they want to contribute and rely on their intrinsic motivation, right? What you see if you look at some of the most successful organizations in Europe right now is they're pretty much the opposite of the Japanese organization culture. So let me give you one example. There's an organization in the Netherlands called Buurtzorg. It has 15,000 employees, but no managers. They've basically abolished management. It's all self-directed teams of nurses who decide for themselves how they want to do their work, right? They decide for themselves who they want to hire as colleagues. They decide for themselves what kind of additional education they need, right? So it's a pretty revolutionary concept. And you know what? It's incredibly effective. So independent researchers have shown that this healthcare is more efficient, more effective, provides higher quality healthcare, and even, pays higher salaries to the employees because there's more money left because you don't need to pay all the managers. So this is pretty revolutionary, right? This is pretty profound. I'm not saying, the whole of Japan can move to a society like that overnight, but hopefully some people, and maybe some CEOs, by reading my book will realize that things could be radically different. And that's just one of those implications of moving towards a different view of what humans are really like.